Thank you, Mr Deputy Speaker. The Government's action to save jobs through the job retention scheme was welcome, but there is a growing chorus across this House that there are too many who have fallen through the cracks: the newly employed, the contract workers, the freelancers. And this is deeply unfair because these people have been passed over, they have been excluded and they have been abandoned. And of course, whatever system you put in place, this was always going to happen. And that's why there should have been a universal system of support for all workers affected. And that way, truly, no one would have been left behind. But there's still time for the Chancellor to put these support mechanisms in place, and we urge him to do so. We urge him, for example, to put in place an emergency basic payment to all those who've been left behind. And if he doesn't think that's appropriate or he doesn't think that's suitable, let's hear his way of dealing with this, because doing nothing is no longer an option. The whole point of the job retention scheme was to save jobs, but if this furlough support is withdrawn too early on the 1st of August, rolled back, then it will fail in that goal. And the task to save jobs must be completed. It must be allowed to do its job and save tens of thousands of jobs for our constituents. And of course, the other thing we can do is convert the loans that businesses have taken out into grants. And I petitioned the Chancellor on this very issue in early April, and I still have to receive an answer to that. The driving force in everything that is done must be about saving jobs and saving our economy. The Bank of England has said that the debt incurred through this crisis must be treated as war debt, and that sounds eminently sensible to me, because in a way, this is a war. It's been a war on our health and it's been a war on our economy. What we need is for the Government to throw every available tool at its disposal to defeat this enemy. And we need targeted support for the aviation, tourism and aerospace sector. We need targeted support for our islands, which face the real threat of depopulation, because islands are in a unique position. 300,000 people in the UK live in an island, and of course they're hit with a double whammy, not just of the crippling of the tourism industry, but of course as easing takes place, you have social distancing on ferries to access the island, which creates further difficulties for them. We know that the UK Government borrowing will reach £340 billion this year, and quantitative easing will reach £745 billion. I ask, Mr Deputy Speaker, Scotland has received a total of £10 billion. Where is the rest of Scotland's share? But what Scotland really needs is more effective tools at its disposal to take charge of this situation for ourselves. We need greater powers to deal with this economic tsunami, because that's what it is. It's an economic tsunami and it's threatening to engulf us. So we need more action, we need more support for our constituents, and we need more work to save more jobs.